Holy cow, guys, my garden has exploded. I mean, has exploded. It is just total craziness out here. So my spearmint and asparagus bed, you can see the fronds, the flamingo celosia has just exploded. It's everywhere. It's taking over. It's beautiful. The zinnias are looking gorgeous. And then my dill, look at those big old dill heads. I mean, that's not beautiful? I've never had dill. I mean, the flower heads, that flower head is like 3 times the size of my hand. It's crazy. My corn is about over. I need to come through and cut it. I'm drying ears, hopefully to get some dried corn to plant next year in a better location. My asparagus beans, look at these. Are these not the coolest? I need to come out. They're Japanese wing beans are also called asparagus beans. I need to come out and pick. My scarlet beans, I don't like the texture of these beans for eating. Oh my gosh, look at this one. Look at that, that's crazy. So I'm growing them and I'm gonna dry the beans on the plant so I can grow just the flowers. The green beans are a thick, sticky consistency. They're not, I don't know. I'm not going to be growing them for eating. I'm going to grow them for their beautiful red flowers. Oh, I hear a hummingbird behind my head. Oh, he flew away. My bergamot or bee's balm is just starting to open. I know my bed is just ridiculous with grass. We have had the wettest spring, and it's like the perfect amount where we're not flooding, but it's enough to, oh my gosh. Well, not much I can do about that. Oops, sorry, my fingers are in the way. My green bean grew into the light and back out. These are my, gosh, they're growing huge. These are my pole beans over on this side. Like I said, I do need to come out and take care of the corn and pull the ears off and let them dry. And I'm going to use them for seed. The ears were only little half ears. They weren't worth pulling up to pulling and cutting to eat, because they literally were like this big, and it's because they didn't get enough sun and they grow too fast and too much water. I think they weren't sturdy, but I'm hoping by saving the ears and replanting the seed for next year that they'll have a little bit better tolerance for Texas weather. The onions are doing okay, but this bed has become weed-ridden. Everything has become weed-ridden. The zinnias are looking beautiful. I have never had marigolds grow waist-high before. The green beans are ready to be picked again. I need to come out and pick, but pretty much these plants are being fed on by grasshoppers, and it doesn't help that the bed has become overrun with grass. Everything has become overrun by grass. But the zinnias are beautiful. I actually have some Swiss chard that came up at the very end. I'll walk over there, but I can't walk through this aisle. It rained last night, so everything is weighted down with water. I need to put a stake at the far side so I can stake and lift my bergamot up, because it's kind of sprawling everywhere. But aren't those beautiful? My vegetable garden is becoming a flower bed, and my flower bed on the other side of the fence has become a vegetable garden. And then the cone flowers are starting to come up. Once again, this bed is just overrun with grass and weeds. My work schedule has been pretty heavy, even from working from home. The tomatoes are just loaded. And I'm going to include some pictures. Look at all of the baby cherries. I mean, that is just crazy. I've been picking the yellow cherry tomatoes, which are these ones right here. But look at that. That's just nuts. And they're all the way up. I mean, the whole entire plant. I know I kind of ran past these. These are the new Fill 2 tomatoes. They're a heavy lobed tomato. Is that not the coolest? I mean, they're all like that. Tomato from France. And then you see, oh, you don't want to see me. You can see that the tomato plants are just, they're loaded. I've already picked 2 tomatoes. One was as big as my hand. It was crazy. I'll include a picture of that. My poor anise hyssop, the lone stalk with the rain. And then these tomato plants were planted a little bit later, are just starting to produce some tomatoes. So this is definitely, I gotta come out and tie these up. The rain has knocked everything down. It figures the year that I can get everything to grow well is the year that I'm so busy that I can't keep things weeded. This bed is dead and gone and needs to be weeded out. I had flats of things that needed to be planted that didn't get planted. I'm kind of failing as a gardener this year. My sweet peas, the scented ones, I didn't plant them early enough and they have pretty much died. So that was a failed attempt. But like I said, you know, this garden has gone banana crazy. Chamomile is popping up here and there. With the rain last night, it kind of beat it down. So, but look at these marigolds. I'm not kidding you, y'all. Look at this one. Is that not cool? It's like two-tone. They're anywhere from knee-high to waist-high. I've never had marigolds grow this big. They're beautiful. I'm definitely going to be saving the seed heads on these. These are ones that my neighbor gave me. And she said they grew huge. And they were just some weird variety she had picked up at the store one year. And they have gone bananas. So I will be planting, keeping seed heads on these. And planting these out in my front garden because of the deer. More green beans that need to be picked. Heading cabbage. I'm sure it's wormy as all get out. I need to pull these, but they've been, you know, food for bugs, so I've just kind of left it so it stays off my other stuff. Cucumbers are finally growing. 2 big cucumbers here. I had another one that was on here that I picked the other day for breakfast. It was quite large. This isn't going to be a very good tour because of how wet everything is. I need to come out and cut some of the dead coreopsis. I had some white coreopsis. I don't know, for some reason it died. It was doing well, but maybe it, you know, it's not as hardy. And then I've got your regular coreopsis, and then my gaillardia. That's one plant. All of that red is one plant. It is just exploded and fallen all over the place. It's crazy. My elderberry is doing good. It looks like I'll get a few berries. Some of these aren't looking so promising. Squash bugs. Oh. Not looking very promising for berries. I'm hoping some of these newer flowers. You can see I've got caterpillars. And this darn thing is way taller than me now. I would say it's at least 10. I've got leaf-footed bugs that are becoming a problem. Yeah. When you're chemical free, sometimes the bugs beat you down. This still hasn't done anything. If it doesn't flower soon, I'm going to pull it out and just consider it a weed. It keeps telling me it's an aster, but I have yet to see flowers on it. The rose bush is doing fantastic. I mean, holy cow. It's as tall as I am, if not a little taller also. And it's sprawling, but once again, it's kind of weighed down with water right now. But it is looking fantastic. And then that rose that had died, let's see if I can get up here without making my shoes soaking wet. There we go. Yeah, up there, baby. That stem, that's from that rose that died. It's getting big, so hopefully it'll have some flower buds soon, so we can see if it is rootstock or if it's actually my rose. Waiting to see. And then all of the gaillardia, the solid red and the red and yellow. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. It is basically just kind of gone wild, and it's doing its own thing. I've got, I can smell it all through the garden, holy basil that has popped up everywhere out here. I still haven't planted my berries. I'm keeping them watered and they're alive, but I haven't had time. So my ambitions were big this year, and I have not met its match. The tomatoes are doing good, sending out tons of runners. So hopefully this box by next year will be full, and I'll actually be getting strawberries. There are 2 tomato plants. They were actually suckers off of a plant that was over in this box. I'd broken off the stems because, you know, that's what you do with suckers, and just stuck them in the dirt because it was rainy and wet out, and darned if they didn't actually root. I didn't think it would happen here in Texas because we're so dry and so hot, but they survived it and they rooted and they're actually growing. So I got 2 more tomato plants over here in the strawberries. I think it'll be good because once they start getting bigger, it'll help shade the strawberries some, so maybe the heat of summer won't kill them. The herb box is looking good. My herbs are doing fantastic. It only looks like 2 of my butterfly peas have survived. I probably will bring out 2 blues to add to this so that it can crawl on this trellis. My chamomile is doing pretty good over here too, but with it being wet, it's falling apart. So, and the mints and everything. So this is looking good. So overall, the garden's looking good. I do have things that are still in pots that severely need to be planted. Roma tomatoes that are looking worse for wear. Basil, cucumbers, flowers. I just don't have the time. Even up on my patio, I've got seedlings that need to be planted. My sweet peppers were up there. The wind knocked down my trellis during the storm the other night that I didn't know we were supposed to have, and killed it. The blueberries are looking good and healthy. This is millet. I have it everywhere because of the chicken feed. And then I got some sunflowers popping up back here. I'm leaving it. I pull a few stalks out here and there and give it to the chickens and the ducks. They like it. And then once it seeds, they'll get those too. I mean, I'm not going to get enough to change feed bills, but it'll give them something a little extra. And they like the green. So, but this is pretty much my garden right now. Yeah, cucumbers that need to be planted, okra, eggplants. You see how much water? My bucket of dirt is full of water. Tons of celosia that needs to be planted. They're spindly looking. Oh, I am failing as a gardener. And I won't lie or deny. You see how bad everything is. Ugh. I mean, everything is just, it's growing, but I just don't have time. It's sad. We finally have a good year for growing, and it's the year that I don't have time to be out here and do all the things that I need to do. I'm going to have a ridiculous tomato harvest for sure this year, which I'm excited about. Let me show you one of my biggies. Not quite ripe enough to pick yet. Look at that bad boy. It's huge. Oh, look. These are teaspoon tomatoes. Little teaspoon tomatoes. They taste like tomato. I had a free pack of those. I just wanted to check them out. Those would be good to put in a salad of somebody who doesn't like tomatoes. So this is my garden. It has gone 100% wild, and basically I've lost all control of it. I come in and I'm able to usually get it weed-eated down right before a rainstorm, but that's about the extent of what I'm getting accomplished. It's constant fighting with the weed eater, and you can even see the grass. It was just mowed not even a week ago, and it's already halfway up my ankle. It's beautiful to look at. One last thing I want to show before, look at me, I've got tomatoes in the walkway. There's tomatoes down there. This is the Italian dandelion. The blooms will open once the sun comes up, but they are this dark blue flower. They almost look like a chicory flower or a cornflower when they open. This thing will be loaded with it, and the honeybees go bananas. But you can see how tall it is. And in past videos, all of my plants were only about this tall. This is the second year it's come up, and it just keeps coming up. You can eat the greens. They have great health benefits. You see how dark and purple the stems are, how beautiful the green. I like it in my like cutting it up and putting it in my salads, but I also like it in the garden because it adds some interest and it's beautiful. A lot of this stuff I'd like to plant in my front flower garden just for the interest and the beauty of it, but unfortunately we have deer, and deer would eat it. I don't have any asparagus flowers open right now. The rain knocked pretty much all of them down, and they're about to open. Beautiful blue flowers mixed with the red ones, but you can see the moisture starting to affect some of my bean leaves. I'm gonna just come out and pick the yucky leaves off to help prevent further disease spread, but a lot of it has to deal with the moisture. So I do need to come out and pick the asparagus beans, which I will. I've got enough of them. You use them in stir fries, but they really are pretty darn cool. So I'm going to end this video. I will be adding a bunch of photos of the garden and some of the flowers from the other side to the end, so that way you can see some of the pictures that I've taken. But these Jade beans, man. They are the best. They are forever prolific. We've been eating green beans for weeks now. But I need to get that flower bed over there weeded. Get the Roma tomatoes planted. What sweet peppers I have left that are survived. I lost all of my hot peppers. They drowned. So, wow. This is the walking onions. I only had one stem that survived the winter. And you see what it's doing. It's doing fantastic. The rhubarb, the only one that survived is the one in this back corner. And it's the side where I think it gets the most shade. So next year I will be growing my asparagus in pots so I can move them around. Or not my asparagus, I'm sorry, my rhubarb around. I don't expect it to survive, and I'm going to treat it as an annual and pick my stalks. I wanted to try to see if it'll grow as a perennial. You see the stalks are nice and big, but I think I will plant it earlier and harvest. Wait till it has like 4 stalks and harvest one, and then just chop it and put it in the freezer until I have enough for my recipe to make my rhubarb relish, because that is the whole reason I'm growing it, is to make rhubarb relish. Something I grew up with as a child, and I absolutely love it. And I can honestly say I've only had a couple of jars since I've moved to Texas. If you can find a grocery store that sells it, it's expensive for the quantity I need to make my relish. So I guess now I know that rhubarb doesn't care. Now if this one survives here, then I'll be able to harvest some off of it in the spring, but not much. I may have to plant my rhubarb back here and just, like I said, do it in pots, so that way I can control the amount of sunlight it gets, because I think just Texas heat. This was supposed to be one that would grow in zone 9, and obviously it doesn't. So this is June 6th, I think, or 5th garden tour of my, oh my god, this is so gone crazy vegetable garden, because it really has. I mean, I'll still get vegetables, it's just not beautiful. It's not what you're gonna see on most people's pages where everything is kept all weeded, and you know, it's not what my garden's looking like this year. I have way too much on my plate to keep up on everything I need to keep up. But just because I can't make it beautiful 24/7 doesn't mean that I won't get a harvest and that I can't do it, and just let it be wild. Because you can do it. Just let it go wild. You'll still get food. It may not be perfect, but I don't care. I love it. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching my video. I apologize that I'm not a polished YouTuber with great edited videos and a well-maintained garden, but I show you real life. This is a one-woman operation with a full-time job, and I do the best that I can. Don't give up. Y'all can do it. I have faith in you. God bless. Have a great day.